elopement, it is 150% tailored to you guys as a couple and nobody else. First off, I'm going to be talking about, should I plan an elopement? Should I plan an intimate wedding? Should I just stick with a traditional wedding? I want to clarify the three definitions of them. If you go to Webster and you look up an elopement, it literally says you're stalking off in the middle of the night. That's not the case anymore. Elopements have definitely had a shift over the last several years. Traditional wedding needs no description. It hasn't really changed for the last forever. An elopement is up to 10 people present. So you, your fiance, and then 8 other guests. But it does not mean that you are stalking off in the middle of the night. It does not mean that you're all by yourself. An intimate wedding is typically 10 to 30, including you and your fiance. Not the description that you would see in Webster's dictionary. It's not as big as a 50 to 100 count wedding. Still really intimate. I wanted to dive into how you decide if you should have an elopement. If you're really wanting to elope, or you really want an intimate wedding and you've really thought about it, I would then follow your gut. I know that there are family members, there's friends, they want to celebrate with you, they may have an opinion on this whole situation. If it's something you really want to do and you've really thought about it, then that's the first key. The second thing that I would do is I would put together a list of pros and cons for having an intimate wedding or an elopement. I'd also put together a pro and con list having a traditional wedding, a more traditional set wedding, and then look at those and be like, can I live with these cons? So on a traditional wedding, can I live without these? Do I really want them? What do I really want? And then looking at the cons of an elopement. Can I live with these negatives of having an intimate wedding or an elopement? Am I okay with giving up X, Y, and Z to have this more intimate experience with my soon-to-be spouse, with our closest friends and family in this location? I would not say sacrifice. When you have an elopement or an intimate wedding, you are not sacrificing. You are just trading. You are just changing the narrative so that it fits you and your soon-to-be spouse. When you have an intimate wedding and elopement, it is 150% tailored to you guys as a couple and nobody else. You can definitely include your friends and family, but the design of your day is solely for you and your fiance, and that's it. So once you decide, look at that list, and if you look at that list and you go, yes, I want to plan an intimate wedding, or yes, I think planning an elopement is the right thing for me, then you get to dive into planning. And planning is not easier, it's not harder than planning a more traditional wedding. It's just different. The narrative is different. So instead of looking for a venue for all of your guests to party at, you're going to be looking at locations around the country, around the world, different national parks. Instead of buying centerpieces, you're going to be buying flight tickets. It's not saying that it's going to be cheaper or easier or quicker. It's just changing how and what you need so that your day can be done safely and properly and still be beautiful and intimate and wonderful. So once you decide, yes, I want an elopement, yes, I want an intimate wedding, what do I do? You start planning. And the number one thing to really pin down is a rough time that you want to get eloped or have your intimate wedding. You don't have to have an exact date at this point. You just need to have a rough timeline of okay, we have some free time around May or more so in December. Whatever it is, pick that chunk of time. And then picking at your location. You want to pick your location, and you don't want to just pick the first one that you see on Pinterest that you think is beautiful, and you don't want to just jump on any elopement location bandwagon Iceland anyone? You just want to find the place that's you and your soon-to-be spouse. This is about you guys, so it can be tailored down to the location. Don't just say, oh, I can't elope because I don't want to fly however many thousands of miles. Once you've picked out your location, you can at that point start diving into all the rest of your details of planning your elopement or your intimate wedding. Are we going to have a reception afterwards? Those kinds of things. Once you've got that, you can contact your photographer, your videographer. They will be able to help you with locations. They're going to be able to help you and let you know if there's any permits that you're going to need where you want to get married. But definitely contact your photographer and or your videographer first and figure out what date within your little pocket of dates that you created earlier. Reach out and say, okay, what dates do you have in this pocket of time? They're just going to be a wealth of knowledge to help you really start to nail in all the other fun little details of planning your elopement or your intimate wedding.